Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Maths in a Bag. So here we have our next bag, and inside this bag we have simultaneous equations. So what are simultaneous equations? Well, simultaneous equations, or rather a pair of simultaneous equations, are where you have two equations that are both true. Both equations will probably have both an x and a y in them. So, an example of a pair of simultaneous equations could be 2x plus 3y equals 7. And another equation, because you need to have two equations, let's say 3x plus 6y, and that can be equal to 15. So how do we solve these equations? Let's find out. So the first thing you do when you have two equations like this is you need to number both equations. So I'm going to number these equations, equation number 1 and equation number 2. So we have 1 and 2. The next thing you need to do is to make sure that two coefficients of the same letter are the same. So for example, the numbers next to the x's or the numbers next to the y's need to be the same. On this example, you can see that neither of those are true. These are different numbers and these are different numbers. So we need to make these the same. So here I'll use the y. You could use the x, but on this example it's easier to use the y. So to make these the same, you need to find the smallest number that both 3 and 6 go into. So in this case it is 6. So this one here already says 6y. However, equation 1 still says 3y. So we need to multiply equation 1 by 2, because multiplying 3 by 2 will give 6. I'll show you why these need to be the same once I've done this. So equation 1, if we're multiplying it by 2, we need to multiply each term by 2. So we need to multiply the 2x, we need to multiply the 3y, and we need to multiply the 7. So I'll write it under here and I'll call it equation number 3. So 2x multiplied by 2 is 4x. And then 3y multiplied by 2 is 6y. So you can now see that both of these are the same. Don't forget to multiply the 7 on the end. So 7 multiplied by 2 is 14. So now you have these two equations, you need to solve them. Now the reason we needed to make these two numbers the same for the y, it could have been for the x but I chose the y, is because now we can take one of these equations away from the other one and it makes it a lot simpler. Here I'm going to multiply this equation 3 from equation 2. So I'll start with the x's, so 3x minus 4x, it's 3 minus 4, so minus, I'll leave the 1 there, but you don't need the 1. So minus x, or minus 1x. The plus 6y minus another 6y, that gives you nothing. So here we have nothing for the y's. So we go straight to the equals and we do 15 minus 14, and that gives you 1. So now we have this very simple equation which you should be able to solve. Minus 1x is equal to 1. So minus 1 multiplied by whatever x is will give you 1. So the answer here would be that x is equal, looks like my pen's running out, to minus 1. Because minus 1 multiplied by minus 1, if you have two minuses, it will give you a plus. So plus 1. So here you can see we know that x is equal to minus 1. However, in these equations, we have both an x and a y. So we now need to work out what y is equal to. So to work out what y is equal to, we need to put this x here that we have, this answer, into one of these equations. It can be any one of them. So I'm going to pick equation 1 because this is simpler, it has smaller numbers. So I'll write it over here. 2 times, we've got minus 1 is what x is, so 2 times minus 1 plus 3y, we still don't know what y is, we're working that out, is equal to 7. So 2 times minus 1 is minus 2. So minus 2 plus 3y, that should be, is equal to 7. So now to make this simpler, we can add 2 to each side. So I'll just write it at the side, add 2. So because we've added 2, we get rid of this minus 2. So we're just left with plus 3y. That's plus 3y, it's a bit hard to read because I missed out the 3. And that is equal to 7, and we're adding the 2 to this side of the equals as well. So 7 plus 2 is 9. We don't actually need the plus. So 3y is equal to 9. So now it's pretty obvious that y is therefore equal to 3. So now we know what x is equal to, which is minus 1, and we know what y is equal to, which is 3. So you have solved these simultaneous equations. So now you can check that your answers are correct by putting both of these into one of the equations. Because I use equation 1 to solve this, I'm going to use equation 2 to make it a bit different. So 3x plus 6y. We say that x is minus 1, so 3 times minus 1. I'll just put it in brackets so you can see. Plus 6y, so y is 3, so 6 times 3. I'll leave it like this for now. Is equal to 15. So 3 times minus 1 is minus 3. And we're adding 6 times 3, which is 18. And that equals 15. So minus 3 plus 18, so 18 minus 3 you could say. 18 minus 3 is 15. So yeah, 18 minus 3 equals 15. So we know that both of these answers are correct because this minus 1 and this 3, they'll work in both of these equations. So that's how you solve a pair of simultaneous equations. You can now go and try some equations on your own. So now you've watched this video, you should be able to solve a pair of simultaneous equations. I feel like this video has been a bit shorter compared to the normal ones, and that's because I don't have much time to record. Because I also have my own revision to do because I'm taking my exams in a few weeks. So once I finish the exams and we get into the summer, I should be uploading quite a few more videos. So that's something to get excited about, or not if you don't like the videos. So feedback obviously is welcome. You can comment below, you can like it, subscribe, whatever those other things are that you can do. Anything to support, I guess. So thank you for watching this video, and I guess it's time to put this maths back into the bag. I'm going to be running out of bags soon, it looks like. So now this maths is back into the bag. Well, that's the end of the video. So thank you for watching this episode of Maths in a Bag, and I hope to see you again soon.